thank you very much. Well, this is my team. And my name is Esther. Esther. Also, yes. Saudi, Carlo, and Lavina. Lavina will present our proposal.
Okay. Basically, we don't have fancy stuff, but we're basically going to go straight to the point. Essentially, what we're going to do is show you what's the promise when they launch this pilot project and where they're actually right now, and essentially identify what are the key imperatives that they have to do to face the gap, address the gap between what's planned and what is actual. And essentially take you through the key imperative, the key strategies, what are the key plans of making sure that this project becomes financially viable and worth further investments. So we all know what the case is all about. They've launched this to have a triple profitability, pertaining to people, planet, and profit. But currently, right now, the biggest issue that Ostrom is facing, they're only meeting about 50% of their capacity. So they're planning for 80% so that it becomes profitable, but right now it's only 50%. So we have to look at what's the gap, what are they not doing, what can they do to make this a more viable business. So the key imperatives that we want the whole team, the Ostrom team, to look into is maybe they have something to do in terms of increasing user base and increasing usage. So that's one. They also need to look into how they can improve accessibility and affordability, and possibly improve also the overall availability of the product. So in terms of increasing usage, we want them to look and revisit the target markets. The primary target markets right now is fishermen, and we all know from the sources that we have, fishermen actually accounts for 175,000 fishing on Lake Victoria. But from what we know, from further reading, only about 600 people are using their products, and about 150 of those are fishermen. So about from 150 to 175, there's a huge potential growth out there. So we look into the relaunching the products to fishermen. Maybe there's no awareness. They don't know more about the product, more education. They have the program. It's really more about going out and reaching more fishermen. And secondly, one of the primary markets that we want Ostrom to look into are the housewives. Housewives in an African family really have very important social role that they need to play. So focus on the mothers, focus on the housewives, because they make the decision towards the family and towards, again, the overall community. They will push for education, and again, we've learned about social prestige. If the women are earning for the family, it's a very big thing for them. What else? So we've identified increasing user. Now we have to focus on increasing usage. When fishermen don't go to fish, what do? They twiddle their thumbs. So we have to make and ensure and roll out programs on if they're not fishing, if they're not getting anything, what can they do? So we want them to be businessmen on land. Sorry. So convert sea-based businessmen into land-based businessmen, and on top of that, also increase not only the products for household usage, but also for non-household usage. So we've discussed about creating small to medium enterprises, going to schools. So again, a whole community, a whole sources of business. We've looked into affordability, and I think basically we're happy. I think Ostrom is on the right track in making sure that these products are affordable to the market. So they've captured sachet marketing that works very well for BOP sort of businesses. So they have the current products that Ostrom is selling is actually in the right product, in the right format that caters to the BOP. So we said affordability, I think, is okay, but again, it takes about a lot of discussion or making sure that people are aware that these products you can afford. These products are made for you. also looked into the availability. I think what we know from the case is that they are into microcredit financing. But when we talk to some people from Osram, they also shared with us that not all people who apply for microcredit financing gets approved. So what happens next? It's a big showstopper if they don't get approved. So we said maybe revisit your microcredit financing, because once they don't get the credit, they don't get the product. So from individual application, maybe you can look into group application. And this, we're taking learnings from how Grameen Bank was very successful. They capitalized on social collateral. Let's say we are a group of fishermen. If I don't get approved, but if we apply as a group, then if I don't pay the collateral, my other members will have to pay for the collateral. So these are other solutions that we would like to put forth to Osram. Relook into your microfinancing. What else? And more importantly, I think, which is a big consideration for Osram, people come to them. The way to expand business is you go to the consumers. You have to make your product readily available and accessible to consumers. So what we're thinking is tap your distribution model, tap current infrastructure of kerosene dealers, and make them a center where people can exchange discharged lamps. They are here to make business. If you are able to present to people that, forget about kerosene, you make more savings if you use our lanterns, but you have to make these products available to those people. And one way to do that is tap existing infrastructure. Also create small, medium enterprise, which will act as sub-centers. And maybe this is how we want the fishermen who are not fishing think about other. No, 1 minute. But our favorite solution is recharger on wheels. In a telco, people who work in a telco company, especially, I came from Philippines. Philippines is it's a typhoon, it's within the typhoon belt. So if one calamity-stricken area, there will be zero signal. So what telco companies is they discharge cell site on wheels. I don't see any reason why Osram cannot do a recharger on wheels that will be, so it's essentially a micro rechargers that can be transported on trucks and vans, and then they go forth to the outskirts and make their products available. So again, this is just one of the ideas that we want to present for them to address the issue of accessibility. And our favorite O-centers. OHUB is an infrastructure. It's a brick and mortar infrastructure. And essentially, Osram has already, if we rolled up projects, they have the know-how, they have the knowledge of the local market, they have the knowledge of the infrastructure, and essentially Osram becomes experts of the African people or the Kenyan people. And companies like Nokia, Vodafone, M-Pesa, Freeplay will gravitate to us so that we can cross-market their products and attach it as a value-added proposition to the products that we have. A case in point, mobile charging. Nokia has already come to us to cross-sell their brands. In Africa, there's a company called M-Pesa, and essentially these telecom companies sell airtime credits. So if I have, let's say, 100 pounds Kenyan shillings, I can take it and I can resell it to my other villages, and I can send, if I have 100, I'll transfer 10 shillings to him, 10 shillings to her, I make money. And it makes these people also accessible to all those services. So again, it's a value-added proposition. You build a community, you make all these services available to them. So.
Also, I would like to add, derivative products can also help in a marketing way to actually bring forward the idea of protecting the environment, protecting them from illnesses like lung diseases and also other related issues that they may have through the drinking of bad water, because the water business can also be extended. But the derivative products, for example, can help actually. 2 minutes. All right, I'd rather finish off then. Sorry.
Yeah. So essentially, it's an O center. We've started with energy, but it doesn't. There's no reason why we cannot encompass the whole basic needs that somebody like Kenya requires. They need energy, they need light, they need microfinancing. A lot of people are unbanked, so we make this microfinancing or financial instruments or services available to them. Telecommunications is a huge need. It's growing double digit, so everything has to be attached. Austrum can be in the middle of that, and to make a more sustainable business for BOP. So I think essentially we'll just say, yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So I'm going to give you the opportunity to perhaps highlight one of the slides that you haven't had the time to use. But I will ask a question. If you could summarize in 1, 2, 3, what would be your solution?
I can take that. Okay. First solution is expand the fisherman market. So we already, some of the people are using, we have to expand there. Second solution is penetrate the housewives, because all of us know,
Sorry?
housewives. Because all of us know that even though the male is the head of the family, all the decisions are actually taken by the housewives. So if you have the impact on the housewives, and if they decide, then what happens is it will actually get spread among the society. That's it.